Yo, what's going, bro? We hopped up on that bus. It's Chill, Hight, and Raji. Glad you came to whip with us. Got no GPS or telling what we gon' discuss. Shout out Thompson Farms, they got the melons and the nuts. We like a trampoline, yeah, we jump.
Good morning and welcome to another episode of the Big Ugly Sports Show, brought to you by Premier Properties of Dublin. We are your first source for mediocre sports coverage. My name is Chill. Glad you're with us this morning. Let's bring on the big and the ugly. Ladies and gentlemen, sitting to my right, he is a UGA graduate, a die-hard dog. He can make a bottle of mouthwash stink. His bottom row has seen better days. He is the pride of Buddy Johnson Road. I'm talking about Adam Hight. Hightower.
Hey, welcome back, Chili. Raji. Nice.
Sitting across from him, he is a Seminole for life. He's got a gullet that can store food for days at a time. His diaper needs changing on the hour. He's got a tick-like slice of napkins for hands. He's big. He's sloppy. He's Big Raji.
What's up, guys?
Big Raj.
Let's get it. Get that chop brave. Get the brave chop going.
Not for the Braves.
Okay, that's fair.
It makes me think of the Braves.
What's going on, gentlemen?
Ooh, yeah.
Coming back off spring break.
A little weepy this morning. A little sleepy.
That alarm went off a little early.
Drug myself up here, though.
Hey, good for you.
Early.
For the fans.
Early.
Well, you gave me that. You got up on your high horse yesterday, and
More of a challenge.
I don't know what the view's like from up there, but from down where I'm at, where the regular people are who don't live up to your
The commoners.
yeah, those.
Oh, you're talking about the people that don't allow everybody to set their stuff up and everything like that? Yeah, I don't know what that's like either. I can't relate.
Yeah. So anyway, I took it upon myself to get here.
Thank you. Raji, thank you for coming early this morning, helping.
Yeah, you're welcome.
That's much love. All right, before we dive in, I know we're not going to spend a lot of time talking about the Hawks, but I gotta speak on the Hawks this morning. Sliding in as the 7th seed last night with a big win at Miami, hitting on all cylinders. They played hard, destroyed the offensive glass. Clint Capella had 21 rebounds. Trae Young, not a great game, but the rest of the guys stepped up. So the Hawks will now have a series against the Celtics, but we're in the playoffs. I mean, as 500 can be throughout the whole year, but we in.
Were you disappointed or surprised that they didn't have a better record?
Yeah, I thought, you never know when you bring in like a DeJounte Murray who's a superstar and you've got some new guys and them figuring out how to play with one another. It's like they've got the pieces. They just have never really figured out how to completely gel with it.
Is that Trae Young's fault?
Well, they're going to get rid of him.
Yeah.
I read that yesterday. That they're going to have all options of looking to deal Trae Young.
Why would they say that as they make the playoffs?
I don't know. Thought that was interesting.
Must have planned on losing yesterday.
I guess they're just going to build up around Murray more.
I don't think they'll trade him.
Well, they fired the head coach, right? Because Trae Young.
Quinn Snyder's in. That was a good hire for the Hawks. Better get Quinn Snyder, I think. But I don't know. Trae does a lot of really good things. He is really disgusting with the ball in his hand. He's quick.
You mean that in a good way?
Yeah, he can shoot.
Listeners who don't know that.
He's got limitless range, but Trae Young seems like he's about Trae Young. He turns the ball over a lot, but it comes with the territory of being a point guard. A lot of times he takes the ill-advised shots, but a lot of times he makes those ill-advised shots, so it makes it seem like they wasn't.
He don't play defense either.
He's terrible at defense. He's undersized, and so he's a mismatch for most teams. So it's just like you just don't know. When he's on now, they're tough because he could have 35 points, and they've got people that can shoot, people that can handle it. So
I think they made the playoffs just due to the foam finger.
That could have factored in. Man, that seems like a long time ago.
We did rally him up, though, that day.
Yeah.
You did. Good job, Hight.
Mm-hmm.
So I'm going to say
least I could do.
Hawks in 6 over the Celtics. You heard it here first.
Celtics in 5.
Okay.
It'd be over quickly.
Celtics for sure.
Very quickly.
All right, staying in Atlanta, the Braves. Come out that jacket, you. I got sweaty back here behind here.
You been working out, bud?
Zero weights.
Well, that's good. Blue's a good color for you.
Working out, bud?
For those on the radio, that was Chuck winking at Raj.
That's why we got idiot. You just made the same face. Anyhow, Braves. Big win last night against Reds. What's your early thoughts on the ATL?
Man, I'm feeling good. If we can stay healthy, get everybody on track as far as being able to be in the lineup. We're going to be pretty nasty. I like Murphy behind the dish.
Dale,
his cousin Sean. Mm-hmm. But I like it. I'm excited about it.
Where you at on Ozuna?
I mean, he could potentially. Maybe he's just trying to get it. I don't know. I don't have an excuse for him. I'm not a big fan. I
don't know what he did last night, but I think before that he was like 2 for 28.
Yeah,
2 home runs.
I mean, you've seen people have slow starts out of the gate and turn it around, but he just has a lot of strikes against him, I guess, so to speak.
Did y'all see?
I'm about ready to move on.
With Honeywell against the Braves.
Yep, Brett Honeywell. That was pretty cool.
Yeah, local legend.
Mm-hmm.
I think they said he's had 4 arm surgeries or something.
4 elbow.
Man,
yeah,
tough to come
back. What is the Braves' record right now? I don't even know.
8-4.
Pretty solid.
3 losses to the Padres. That was a tough series.
98 Braves.
Man,
but the Braves don't have
Tippy Cat Morgan Wallen.
Like Hight said, they're missing several key pieces that could.
So you're saying if they get those back, they're World Series bound?
I mean, they could be. I mean, ain't no doubt
they've got the potential to be. Talent on the roster there to win the World Series.
You're rich right there. I get a scratch.
And we're taking another trip. Book it. We're going to another Braves game. Plus Ed.
I had we took AC to the Braves game over spring break, and it was. I've told y'all already, but we were in the nosebleeds of nosebleeds, touching the back fence of the stadium at the top. But there are much better seats. We know from our low seats, but if you have to pay the cheapest ticket to sit up there, it wasn't that. I mean, it wasn't that bad. If you don't mind the flyover being like right on top of you.
I heard you almost got clipped by those jets whenever they came by.
We got a little nervous. Everybody up there, they were coming pretty close to us. It felt like, but it was a good experience. So,
AC up there chopping.
She chopped a little bit. Yep. So,
how would those seats be when Morgan Wallen comes to town? They'll still be fine.
Is he at Truist?
Yeah.
Yeah, sure.
You don't think so, Hight?
No, you wouldn't be able to see Morgan.
I got a jumbotron.
I mean, you wouldn't be able to see his face.
He's being. I thought you were in the left field, like corner.
We were dead behind home plate.
Okay, yeah, you'd be all right then. That's on me.
That is no. Sit down and shut up.
We asked me a question, and you know me, I ain't gonna be quiet even if I don't know the answer.
That's fair.
All right, Masters. We're coming off Masters week. John Rahm, big win. What
a fun weekend. Love golf. I sat down and watched a lot of the Masters. It was fun. Watching Phil Mickelson make a run Sunday was good. Brooks Koepka collapsing was enjoyable. If you've ever watched Full Swing, have you seen that, Raj?
I know he's kind of a jerk.
Yes. So
now that you're becoming more and more of a golfer, though, you can check it out. Probably now that that's becoming more
probably not, but
yeah. So that Netflix documentary Full Swing, he's on there and just, I mean, complete kind of basically a jerk. Basically, the way I took it, man.
Yeah. Didn't he go like live golf too, or whatever it was?
Which I don't care if he went live golf. I mean, they can do whatever they want. Somebody offered me $100 million, I'd be.
I tell you, our picks though that we made before spring break looked pretty terrible. I think y'all had Scheffler, and I took John Daly.
I went wrong.
Huh?
Pretty sure I went wrong.
You did.
Did you?
Yeah, he did. Because he wanted Chef, but I took Chef, so he went wrong. And Chef did not have a good turn. Which
good job.
Thank you, bud.
I should have known that he wasn't going to go back to back. Nobody's going back to back.
Except for Georgia. Georgia went back to back.
Georgia did have 10. guys representing in the Masters as most of any college. Golf U.
Good.
Along with football U.
Well, we'll see.
We'll talk about that. With the bus masters, if we're going for now that the video is out and I was looking at it, we're over 1,000 views between YouTube and Facebook, which is pretty cool. And we've had a lot of people. I know we've talked about it a little bit. A lot of people just talk about how much they like it. So, what
I have been recognized around town a few times. It's from our YouTube stuff, from the Masters and the Combine thing that we did.
Has anybody called you a cheater in town?
In town or out of town?
Both.
More out in the county.
Depends if they've watched it if they've watched about 4 minutes of it.
Yeah, I mean, we had the get together over at Jay's for the Masters, and there were some people who brought up whether or not I cheated. So
Shout out Ryan Savage. We got to show him some love. He's a loyal follower, giving us pumping some good ideas into Big Ugly too. But he was probably one of those that verified Hight as a cheater when we saw him. So
what he did, but he knows that it was really all for the camera
was it
100%.
So if
hold on, teammate.
No, you got to be unbiased. You can
be heavy.
I have integrity.
There you go. The match is over.
One swing is all it was.
Which in the game of golf is a big deal. I mean, it's a whole stroke.
That?
So I'm basically Patrick Reed.
Can you clarify the issue when the ball went into the ditch or whatnot? Because a lot of people are not really sure how that works. So can you clarify?
So my understanding of the rule is when there's
your interpretation of the rule.
When there's a mud puddle on a golf course.
Define mud puddle. Puddle.
Okay. A trench puddle in this case.
Ditch. Creek.
Okay. It's not a creek.
A river.
It's not a river. It's not a creek.
I can tell you this. If you just an unbiased person walks up and look at it, but before they call it a mud puddle, they're calling it a creek. It is a ditch of water flowing
he said the proper term
but
is
it's
a
not
ditch.
a puddle.
But it has no water source. The only source is rainwater. If it rains, there's water. If it doesn't rain, there is no water.
There wasn't a lot of water in there.
Enough to cover my golf ball. Therefore,
that we think was. I'm sorry, you think
was 100% in there, but it was disgusting in there, and I wasn't.
How do you know? Anyhow,
anyway,
should have been a stroke penalty, and it wasn't. And Hight argued that down for the second hole out of the first 5. 2 out of 5 holes.
No, there was one hole. The very first, my second swing, back was a little tight.
Yeah, get loosened up.
I mean,
the worst part about it, though,
just nerves from the camera being on me. I'm not used to it.
TV debut, really?
Yeah,
I'm not
debut. I know you've been on stage a lot of your life. You've been
really.
Yeah, I mean, I've seen your leadership take over, and
okay.
Is
this your go-to when you're in a corner? Like that's where you go with it?
I've got many things. I'll pull knives out anywhere and throw them wherever I can.
Yeah.
You'll get used to being on the camera though once we.
The worst part about it, I think, for the view. This is not for me. This is from
other.
This is from people.
0% you. Many people. Not him at all. Is this what you normally do when you're batting in the corner?
The people were kind of just. They were like the fact that Hight even defended it after it was on camera and after he got, instead of just saying, "Hey, you know what? Stroke, my bad." This guy is arguing that he didn't mean to hit the ball.
I never said. Well, I did. That's exactly what I said. I didn't mean to hit it like that.
You didn't let me finish. That's what I'm saying. He didn't mean to hit it like that. So it shouldn't count. If you didn't mean to hit it like that,
I never said it shouldn't count either.
Then what were you arguing about?
Just to be arguing, basically. And here we are. Talking about it right now.
Shout out Jason and Floyd.
They did a great job.
Yeah, and for catching that, because if we don't have that on camera, then we lose that hole because Hight wouldn't come in.
The best part of it was when Hight took that swing. I think I said something to him like that they're going to call you out on that. Hight goes, they didn't even see it. I said, I'm telling you, Jay, it's on camera. And immediately, as soon as we get through, Jace goes straight to him.
You all right, bud?
That's when I know the show's officially rolling, when he gets his pipes cleared out like that.
Got to get the cobwebs out.
Jace and Jacob went straight to him.
And that's the first thing they said when they pulled up. They pulled up.
Cheating.
They said Hight cheated. I said, I said, "Do you have it on camera?" He said, "Oh yeah." I said, "Perfect."
Yeah.
And
Well,
so
that's really why I did it.
for the show.
For the show, for the fans, for everybody.
What a guy. What was your least favorite punishment that you guys had to do?
Definitely the anchovies, sardines, whatever they were.
I think they were anchovies.
Oof.
Which I'm not even sure which of the challenges you did, because you spit the hot dog out, you spit the anchovies out, you spit the pepper out.
Y'all, everybody spit the pepper out. Man.
I know.
I swallowed mine.
I ate it.
I ate mine. I just do like
He said everybody spit it out. We said we did. Oh yeah, I ate mine too.
I
just
distinctly
putting it out.
remember you spitting it on the ground.
I told y'all before we started. I mean, months.
That's probably the worst one to me because my throat burned. It gave me the hiccups, and I don't understand
Months
We
that.
started drilling that ice in the cooler, just trying to get it to cool off.
Yeah, I told y'all months in advance that I was not wanting to do any of those stupid challenges.
Oh my gosh, that's
Here
a lie.
we go.
Complete lie.
Really?
You were helping us come up with ideas for it.
That didn't mean I want to
Don't
do
be
it.
that guy. Well, I mean, I wasn't dying to taste Miracle Whip.
And here he is with his typical defense mechanism. I didn't want to do it anyway.
What my idea? I don't care.
Man, I don't care.
Pretty much.
So your worst was the anchovies. What do you?
That pepper, because I actually ate almost the entire pepper, and it was really hot.
That clam juice wasn't good.
It was bad too. That one probably had a more long lasting effect.
Felt it even after you left.
Yes. Yeah. I would love for you to throw it right now just thinking about it.
So throw up on the mic.
No, just to the side on Gabe's floor over here.
Mine was the Miracle Whip for sure. It was like the dog treats tasted better than the Miracle Whip.
But my favorite, which this is probably everybody's favorite, you falling down.
That was the most painful for sure. That had the most long lasting effect for me.
Well, because normally he's the person that gets out of everything and everything's not about
Yeah.
him. And then now the best part of the whole entire thing was.
I'm glad that couldn't work out better.
Yeah,
It was
well,
fun. Now,
yeah.
did I land on a golf ball in my right pocket that really hurt my leg? Absolutely. Did I almost hit my head on the concrete and possibly pass? Sure. But
That'd have been great content.
yeah, y'all had to get. I don't know what y'all had to get real early to set everything up.
We probably just would have thrown you over there in that ditch where Hight's ball was at. Kept playing
You never would have saw me in that mud puddle.
in the estuary.
Yeah, that was
Creek would have carried him on down to Riverview Golf.
one of our
to the river.
golfers came up to me yesterday, dying laughing, showing me the video of me spinning and falling. So it was very, very, very uncomfortable. We're gonna have to do it again.
Yeah, I'm down. Roger's in for sure, 100%.
We talked about it eating. Yeah, you're in for sure if it's an eating challenge of good food, like of tasty. I know we talked tacos, things like that. Like,
We can make something work.
Oh man, we get sack fulls of crystals.
Oh, I'm in on that.
I thought you might be.
see how
big
easy
boy.
that was?
Mm-hmm.
No, I don't care.
You think would in that eating contest? You know how on Bob Does Sports, Cold Cuts always does extra. You think Roger's got like some fries and they're chasing it down just for the regular taste?
I would throw some chicks in there, some crystal chicks.
That would be good. All right, guys. If you will, make sure to go subscribe. Click at the bottom of the. If you're watching on YouTube, click at the bottom and subscribe. If you're listening on Apple or Spotify, be sure to give us a follow, give us a 5-star rating, give us some comments, feedback. Let us know what you guys think. At this time, let's take a moment and hear from our sponsors. For all of your commercial and residential real estate, as well as property management needs, give Premier Properties of Dublin a call at 478-274-1606. Their customer service is unmatched, and I can personally guarantee that they will work with you to get you the deal that you want. Again, that's Premier Properties at 478-274-1606.
This is Brad Meeks, owner of Brian's Giant Subs. Thanks for listening to the Big Ugly Sports Podcast. Come see us today to grab your favorite sub, 1632 Veterans Boulevard in the Oaks Shopping Center, Dublin, Georgia.
Are you tired of overpaying for your cable? Do you feel like you're not getting your money's worth? I've got just the solution for you. J2 Streaming Services. With over 9,000 live channels and packages starting at $15 a month. Visit www.j2streaming.com. Speaking of J2 Streaming, for those of you right now that cannot get the Braves, go to j2streaming.com. You can get Bally Sports with the Braves for that cheap of a deal. Shout out to Big Peach Car Wash, getting closer and closer. They're breaking ground over there soon across from Walmart on Highway 80, so be on the lookout for the Big Peach Car Wash right here in Dublin. And Black Shear Beverage down there on it's getting colder, getting closer to the lake. And
Is it getting colder?
The drinks down there at Blackshear Beverage are getting
That's
colder.
where
That's where it's at now. The temperature is warming up.
Warming up. That's where we need to be. So make sure to visit Blackshear Beverage. All right, let's do our Brian's Giant Subs winner of the week. Hight, we've got number 2. Who you got for number 2 today?
We're going Tyler Edwards, 2004. Tyler Edwards, 2004.
Tyler Edwards. Probably no relation, or could there be a relation to one Stephen Edwards?
This may
If he
be.
found out that he was related to Stephen Edwards, he's probably off himself.
Well, here's the thing. Of all the
That'd
children,
be a hard daddy to find out. It was yours, wouldn't it?
Yeah.
of all the children that he sired, none of them have his last name, so I would say no relation here.
Yeah.
We love you, Ed. Congratulations,
Thanks,
Tyler
Ed.
Edwards. Be sure to go by Brian Subs, tell him the Big Ugly Team sent you, and get that free sub. Now, let's move on to a little college football talk. I know you guys have had a little banter back and forth in the classroom over some top college football programs. So when I was in there yesterday, we all decided, hey, let's bring it to the mic. Let the people hear about it, and let's let them get their thoughts.
Now, mind you, I walk into this and Hight said all the parameters, said everything to validate his own argument.
Well, it wasn't to validate, because I had not looked. I had literally just came up with it. It's when you walked in the door, you inspired me to come up with a topic for us to discuss.
Okay.
And the topic was most dominant football programs, college football programs over the last 20 years. And the parameters were easily wins, losses, national championships.
So we're 03 to 23, essentially, is where we're.
Yeah.
All right, and so you want to start high? Name your top 3 that you.
Well, Raji went out the gate. Go ahead, Raj.
Let me clear my throat.
Alabama was 1, Ohio State was 2, Oklahoma was 3.
All right, give us some thought behind why you.
Well, obviously, I think Alabama's self-exclamatory. I don't think. I said it again.
He said
didn't I?
exclamatory
Sure did.
again.
Well, I'm going to keep rolling with it.
We can't use that as a title again.
Anyways,
Part 2.
but anyways, they. I mean, you don't need to say anything else about them. Like, I mean, they've won a bunch of national titles. They've won a bunch of games. Ohio State is 1. I mean, I think they've won 10, 11 games almost every single year.
Over that 20-year span for Ohio State, is it Meyer? Does it go back before that, or does
Tressel
was in the last?
Man, if you look at their record under
Sweater vest.
yes, he was really, really good, and it's hard to imagine. I mean, I
it went from what Tressel, and then it was what Meyer, and then was it
Meyer?
yeah, but wasn't it Fickle or something was up like the intern coach or something, and then it was I think that like out of the last 20 years they maybe had like 1 year I think they went like was it maybe 6-6 or something with after the Terrell Pryor stuff. And then my thoughts for Oklahoma was I know they didn't win any national titles, but they won a bunch of games over that.
So
Luke Fickle was the coach in between.
That's what I thought.
Tressel and Meyer.
The team that I was going after Oklahoma, I was going to go LSU because they won 2 national titles during then. But then they also had a bunch of years where they were.
So do you think national titles, like when you're talking about dominance, would LSU in your mind not be over them because they've had national titles, or are you saying
I think that Oklahoma's had more wins than LSU, like over that 20-year span. But I mean, national titles obviously carry major weight because that's what everybody looks at, as the end all be all.
So, and mine was, like he said, Alabama was 1. It's not even close. You've got, in 20 years, they've got 9 national championship game appearances, 6 wins. So 6 championships. I didn't even count their wins, but I did count their losses.
My boy got a full notepad over there, Ryan. He finna
54 losses
up on this.
That's what happens when you're inferior. You have to go back and do.
When you're inferior, you actually look at the evidence and then
the evidence was self-explanatory.
It was self-explanatory.
Evidence is here.
And you just present the evidence and let the evidence speak for itself. All I'm doing is delivering it. So mine was Bama 1, Georgia 2, Ohio State 3. Okay. That's just what I mean, off the rip, without even looking, those were my choices, and you had your choices without looking.
When you did research, did it validate those, or did it shake up the?
I think it changes it for me a little bit. And so let me just give you the rundown of what I found. Georgia had 205 wins and 61 losses. 3 national championship games, 2 title wins. Okay. Ohio State, 219 wins, 39 losses, 4 championship games, only 1 title. All right. LSU, which I was surprised that they had the least amount of wins. LSU, 197 wins, 63 losses, 2 titles, and 3 title game appearances. Clemson, 204 wins, 64 losses, 4 title games, 2 titles. So, I would say Clemson would be ahead of Georgia.
Now, when he made that comment yesterday, Clemson ain't no. It's exactly what you did.
That is accurate.
That is what I did, yeah. But I went back and looked. I told you this was off the cuff without doing any research.
So off the cuff, he just shot me down just because he felt like that's what he did. Instead of just saying, "Oh, maybe Clemson."
Well,
not Clemson.
because I
that's exactly what happened.
Wanted his opinion out there when nobody even asked for it. But go ahead.
That was the whole point. That was the point of what we're doing, right? So anyway, then I looked at Oklahoma, 0 title game appearances, 0 national championships. So they're out easily, not even close.
Okay.
So anyway, it really
did
comes
you look
down,
up their wins?
Yeah, I did, but I didn't put it in here.
Oh, okay.
Because they're automatically out from 0 title game appearances.
Okay.
All right. So it really comes down to Bama, Georgia, Ohio State, or Clemson. So Georgia or Ohio State, what resume would you rather have?
Well, I mean, I think Ohio State's had obviously the more wins
by 14, but less national championships. Would you trade 14 wins for a national championship?
Yes, he would.
Over the course of 20 years, of course.
For the sake of the argument, he goes no, but
for 20 yeah.
Over the course of 20 years, would you trade 14 wins for 1 national championship?
Yeah, probably.
All right, so that puts Georgia ahead of Ohio State.
Not on my list, I don't know.
All right, now here's where it really gets down to what you
because
want. Here's where it's a closer one: Georgia and Clemson.
Well, no, my purpose against Georgia was recency bias.
It's
like because when you talk about an entire 20 years, right? You're talking about the 20-year span. You're not talking about the last 3 years. And that's what because just like I said about with the Masters. Thursday, Friday.
Get ready to be disappointed by this.
Thursday, Friday, Saturday, you could be a par golfer and then birdie every hole and end up winning the Masters. And you played average every single day, but you had a great day on Sunday.
That's part of the tournament.
Yeah, because everybody else.
You can't sit there and ignore everything else that happened, though.
So hold on. Would you rather have a guy? What if the guy?
Georgia was a 9-4 team.
I don't like the analogy.
It's a terrible analogy. It's a terrible analogy. I tried to tell me yesterday. It's a terrible analogy.
They were a 10-3 team at best up until when Kirby got there. The first year Kirby went 6-7, and then he had the rest is.
All right. So let me ask you this: can you get to a 20-year history if you take out the last 6 years? Because that's what you want to do. I'm saying
first of all,
I've never even heard about a recency bias. He made this term up to fit his argument.
That's not a
recency bias, yes. And so you want the 20-year history of football that we're discussing include the last 6 years since Kirby's been there. Yes or no?
Yeah.
Okay. So
the national titles are only the last 2 years. So you're talking about 2 years out of 20. You're not going to sit there.
Is 2 years part of the 20 years?
You're not going to sit here and
Chuck. Do the 2 years.
It is part of it. I mean it. Yeah, I mean that you can't say it's not. It is.
I tell you what. Well, let's take out 2 years of Clemson's. Since we're just pulling out years that don't matter, we don't like them. Let's just take 2 years out.
Yeah, so the 2 years that they won the national title. So take them out, and then what happens? Ohio State's still up there.
Well, let's take their 2 years out. Well, they don't have any national titles.
Okay, all the wins that they still had.
Do you see how dumb your argument is now?
All the wins that they still had. Well, Georgia has been a 9-3 team. Georgia was 9-3 for the majority of the middle of the 2000s or in the 2010s.
You realize there's 14 wins difference between Ohio State and Georgia in 20 years. So it's not like they're blowing them out of the water.
Yeah, and that's when Ohio State had probably more losing seasons than Georgia did.
No, they didn't. They don't.
Because they had the what?
Georgia has more losing seasons in that time frame than Ohio
How many? What?
2 maybe 2 more.
Georgia didn't have 2 losing seasons. The only losing season they had was in the AutoZone Liberty Bowl game against Central Florida.
In 20 years?
And they went 6-7.
In 20 years.
Yeah, because Mark Richt got there in 2001.
Here's the thing. I looked at the records. You know who didn't? Him. You know who he's pulling from? That head.
Which is better
Than the actual facts. Okay.
Yep.
In 20 years, you don't think Georgia had how many losing seasons do you think Georgia had?
I would say they had. I'd say they had one.
You're wrong. You pulling it up, Coach?
I'm gonna pull up. Y'all keep going.
Again, I just think that you guys, as
What do you
typical,
mean, you guys, I'm just here.
All right.
as normal when we talk, anytime that we talk about college football, and I get it because your team's on top right now.
Gosh, I'm wrong.
What? How was it? One?
It was one.
Oh, really?
Yep.
Just thank you. Oh, you got that right there off the hip. You got that right off the hip. Yeah, it was a Liberty Bowl year. So shut your mouth. You don't know what you're talking about. Your stats are lying to you. So
They're not. No, I was wrong. And what
2013.
Yeah. So I was wrong. And what I meant was, and I was wrong. Okay. No context. I was wrong. In my mind, I was thinking non-10 win seasons. Mm-hmm. So that's on me. You're right. And I don't. How many losing seasons did Ohio State have?
One of your whole arguments though about us talking about Georgia is Georgia's always been really good, but now the argument is they hadn't been that good to be a top.
So they both had one losing season in 20 years. So.
And that's with Ohio State having a scandal. Georgia never had to endure anything like that.
So one losing season apiece, 14 wins difference.
So an entire season.
Yeah. Okay. But remember a while ago
now,
you said
is strength of schedule.
Hold on. With multiple coaching changes in that too. Now, y'all went from straight from Rick to Kirby.
McClendon served as interim on there. It said,
but don't act like the guys that were coaching at Ohio State were like bad coaches. They've all been successful.
So you don't think getting a new coach in there doesn't make a difference?
Sure it does.
Right.
Sure it does.
There you go. So
but Jim Tressel, great resume. The only person on there that didn't end up having a winning season or was Luke Fickle. He went 1 year. Then you got Urban Meyer.
But Luke Fickles went on to be a really good coach.
Yeah.
So
it's not like he's a bad coach. But
I'm not saying that he's a bad coach, but as we are all coaches, you know, culture is different. The way that you do things is different.
But now, hold on now. You're also the same person that said anybody who's been successful at West Lawrence Wrestling, because it was built up whenever we got here, that everything we've done was easier and it's easier to maintain success. So if that argument is...
That is apples to oranges, though.
Well, successful programs are successful programs.
That's apples to oranges when there's not an area, like this area is not very strong in wrestling.
Ohio State has a rich history of football success.
Where does Ohio State get most of their recruits from? It ain't from Ohio. They come to Florida. They come to Georgia. They come to Texas.
They do just like every other big powerhouse program.
Right, so they don't have their area is not very strong. They're having to go recruit everywhere else in the entire nation. So
but
that's apples to oranges. That's not the same.
Standard for college football. No, it does apply.
No, it doesn't. Because West Lawrence at wrestling in this area compared to Ohio State having to go recruit nationally is not the same thing.
But here's the thing.
No, it's not.
There are other wrestling programs in the area that are not that good at wrestling, and they have to do with the same thing West Lawrence does. But the difference is there was a tradition started here, and then the other coaches that have come on have been able to successfully transition into maintaining that winning program. That same thing Ohio State did. So the point of the argument was to find the most successful programs in the 20-year history of college football.
It looks like it's Alabama, Clemson, Ohio State.
Alabama, Clemson, Georgia, Ohio State.
We'll let the people comment.
Well, you know what the people are going to do. Go Dogs. That's standard.
No, some of us probably.
No, I mean, look, we bumped Georgia down. I did. Clemson is better in the last 20 years.
So over the last 2 years, who's been the most dominant team?
I already said that.
Yeah.
I know. I'm just asking so we can all agree and move on.
Yeah.
Georgia.
Dogs. All right. Roll one.
$5:30 in the morning on the bus we ride. Give me your ears for Hight's high five. Woo! I just picture Hight just walking down the dirt road, throwing rocks,
skipping across,
staring off into the sunset,
cane pole over his shoulder.
Yep. barefoot.
With Andy Griffith now.
Yeah, little old lab, old Georgia beside him. Man, it just feels good. Humble beginnings.
I couldn't afford no lab back then.
What'd you have? Just old stray dog.
True story, yeah. Dog showed up one day.
This keeps getting better.
A dog showed up one day.
Old Yeller show up there. Put him down. All right, let's hear the high five today.
All right, so the high five, and I'm gonna tip my cap to Raji here. He came up with this high five for me yesterday. So I went college mascots, and I went live mascots. So I'm going animals basically, not. Mm-hmm. And if I were to include, like, I went down some lists, and I really do like, and you brought this up yesterday. The FSU's mascot. What's your mascot's name?
Well, I said, hold on.
And does he have a horse? Does the horse have it? Like
Renegade.
Renegade, that's right. So
is it the same horse every year?
What?
Is it the same horse?
I think they change it up. There was one time when I went to a game we actually passed them coming in. It's pretty cool.
But I'm saying, like, each year.
It's not like UGA. Like UGA's the same every year. I think they have different horses.
There's just got to be white.
And it's got to be, I can't remember the name of the, like, specific horse, but it's got to be a certain kind.
Yeah. But so, anyway, there's some other cool ones that I didn't put in here. But as far as once again, this is my high five.
This is his.
Mm-hmm. So, number 5, I went Bevo with Texas.
Bevo, Lotty.
Got more head than he got body.
And now Bevo, there's some heat between.
They've been calling Hight Bevo before too now, because he got more head than he's got body.
That's fair. That is a factual statement. I'm not going to argue against that.
Lotty, if I've ever seen one.
I mean, I just got a new Braves hat the other day from New Era, 7 5/8. In case you're wondering.
Good.
Will the 7 5/8 give you the red ring or no?
There'll be a ring. There'll be a ring.
Does Opie's hat look better than yours?
It's literally the same hat.
But he put it on first and sent pictures, and you said you got it first.
I got mine last week. I ordered me and Mitch Lawhorn one. I gave him his yesterday.
Okay. All right, number 4.
Number 4, Ralphie the Buffalo from Colorado. I've seen him in person. I'm impressed. I mean, I'm just cool having a buffalo. American history there. You think about the buffalo and whatnot. Now with Prime, I mean, I can see Prime come out riding the buffalo, just trying to portray himself as being real humble and hardworking.
Just most humble.
He is humble.
Hey, whatever gets those recruits in.
All right, then I go Mike the Tiger from LSU, which Tiger's cool. It's impressive. It's intimidating. Yeah. Any thoughts? You good with these? I feel like you got something. I feel like there's something.
No, I mean, I was thinking Mike the Tiger though. That's more like the actual, like, not the real tiger, is it?
No, it's the real tiger. Yeah.
Okay.
It's not the one that dresses as a tiger.
No, the actual real tiger they keep caged up.
Yeah. What's the name of the one that they dress? He's got a name. Never mind. Go ahead.
And now this one's going to be, I think, a surprise to you all and our listeners. Mm-hmm. And I had to look this one up, but I thought for sure they had a good one because, anyway, I don't want to rabbit trail there, but Freedom is the name of the bald eagle that Georgia Southern uses. And so because of it being a bald eagle.
Gotta.
Yeah. Well, yeah. One more time.
America.
And anyway, so I just thought it was cool having the eagle fly around the stadium. And some people are going to say, well, what about the war eagle for Auburn?
Well, they don't know what they are.
Exactly. And so that's why I kick them out, because are they a tiger? Are they an eagle? They don't know. Yeah. Their football program is trash. Any Auburn listeners out there, your team's terrible.
Shout out Wesley Hill, my cousin.
Well, sorry, Wesley. But anyway, Freedom, Georgia Southern's bald eagle. And number 1, we all know where we're going with this one.
Of course we do.
And it's really a hat tip to UGA.
It's really a hat tip to myself because I was part of the Spike Squad. Go Dogs.
Anyway, UGA 10, a.k.a. Q, the all-time winningest UGA. He's retiring this weekend at the spring game, and they're going to be collaring a new UGA 11, a.k.a. Boom. All right, so anyway.
O-M, Boom.
B-O-O-M, yeah. Anyway.
Diabetes-filled dog. I mean, I don't know any other. It is.
You're literally the UGA version in real life.
I would be more like Ralphie, if anything.
You cannot move like Ralphie.
Sure I can. And I mean, think about y'all's mascot. It sits in the AC all the time. It's got
Sounds great.
It's got its own vehicle.
Let me ask you this: where do you want to sit and watch games? In the AC or in the hot sun?
How do you want to travel? How do you want to travel?
You're a liar.
In the hot sun.
How do you want to travel? In your own vehicle, air conditioned and comfy.
Transit, MARTA.
Do what?
How many? What other mascots?
I just had a memory of leaving the Peach Bowl and the seat in the MARTA was completely filled with
PP.
urine. Yeah, and when that MARTA got rolling,
It started rolling.
it started sloshing.
That's tough.
It's like clam juice.
Did you have any? What what were some honorable mention? Are you just animals?
That's where I went. Just animals.
I was thinking a little Notre Dame Irishman out there.
Yeah, well, I mean, if you include humans, the West Virginia Mountaineer guy's pretty cool.
I think animals, they're Division II, but North Alabama. So when you go to North Alabama Stadium, they've got 2 lions in cages beside the visiting locker rooms.
That's pretty
So
cool.
it's pretty
Probably
cool.
intimidating.
Yes.
Did you see? It was a couple of years ago. The West Virginia Mountaineer guy, he caught some heat for some reason, which I mean I don't understand. Dude took the musket and went hunting with it and shot an animal with the musket, which is
It's pretty awesome.
yeah. But you know, of course, there's some liberals who think it's cruelty to animals or
PETA.
or it's too masculine. You can't
Gun control.
can't be a manly man and shoot guns. But
I wonder what other mascots is Georgia one of the only ones that he's there. He's that same dog is the mascot every time, or is like is Bevo.
yeah,
These other ones, the Tigers.
I think they keep them. I did read about Bevo. They do trade out. I don't remember the time frame they trade out, but they will trade out occasionally, and they just try to make him look like the same one.
What you reckon? When they decide,
Surely the tiger has to be the same.
Yeah, because you probably not finding different tigers to put in.
what you reckon when they? What's the final decision thought process to retire? Like Q, you think he's?
It just gets to be. I don't know if you remember he didn't travel for the national championship game. I don't think, and with the older they get, they have trouble breathing because of their snout structure and whatnot.
Their obesity.
Can you relate
No.
to snout structure?
No.
He can relate to obesity, but anyway. So anyway, I think that's part of it. The older they get, the worse their health gets, and they just ready to roll a new one out there. He'll be buried out there at the stadium here for long.
Yeah, put him underneath the 50. Go Dogs.
Shout out Q. Hey, DGD, boy.
Heck yeah,
Yeah.
that's it.
Bring it on.
All right, make sure to keep listening to us. Give us a good 5-star review and a subscription.
Be sure to hit us up on social media, Instagram and Facebook at BigUglySports.com.
Yep, and make sure to give us a follow on YouTube. Don't just watch, give us a follow so we can keep up with that. Thank you for everybody that watched. The Bus Masters, we're going to have more content like that coming down the road. Planning April the 22nd to play in the Raider Rumble. So maybe we can get some video content from that. Thank you, Premier Properties of Dublin, for being our title sponsor. We appreciate all you guys, whatever you're doing, wherever you're at.
Get up on that bus.
Yeah, we got coffee sipping. 5-star reviews, maybe even a subscription. We are work in progress, always room for
That is
improvement.
phenomenal right there.
Get up on that bus.
Ooh, yeah.
It's a movement.
Ooh, yeah.